the company said they weren't going to do horizontal drilling, and they did. And Ron goes into a lot of detail about all the problems in Pennsylvania. So that's on our website. So that's cool.
You do the website streaming. I'd just like everybody to take a look around the room. Notice how many people are here. We have standing room only. Did y'all know that the deck is entirely full? We have state and city representatives here in the room. And
County too.
And county, thank you so much. Wonderful. So as you can see, this issue is so important. This is a very small space. We should be having this meeting. This is like the first of many meetings that we should be having. But at some point, a meeting like this should be in a bigger space, that we could have it at the Civic Center and make more room for all the people that are interested. And the media is here as well. And so I just wanted to put that perspective on the people as the train goes by. Okay, I would like to introduce Bill Eckert. He's been working, he's in the insurance field. I'd love to maybe hear what he has to say.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. They really asked me to talk about really the damage to your house aspect of potentially fracking operations. Okay. Okay, very good. Really, potentially, how this could damage your home. And under the state, in the state of Illinois, homes are right on the mic. In the state of Illinois, perfect. Thanks. In the state of Illinois, earthquake or earthquake.
Get away from the mic.
Must be my pen in my pocket. We'll try this. In the state of Illinois, if you have earth movement, it's only covered if you have an earthquake event. And in that case, you have to have earthquake coverage endorsed onto your homeowner's policy. Or if it potentially, if you live above an abandoned mine or a currently active coal mine, then you have to have mines and sites insurance. And so as I think about as a concerned citizen, I think about coal mines represented economic interest to this area, and still do to some extent, but it really did a lot of years ago. And now people that buy houses that are above abandoned coal mines now really have to take out mines and sites insurance. And there's a fund called the Illinois Mine Subsidence Insurance Fund. So whether you have Allstate, Country Companies, or State Farm, all that money is given to the Illinois Mine Subsidence Insurance Fund. And so if you have a earth movement event at your house, and you come home one day and your doors won't open, your windows are in shear, there's a crack down the middle of your ceiling, and you think potentially that's a mine subsidence claim, you call your insurance agent, they send out a representative from the Illinois Mine Subsidence Insurance Fund. And I just wanted to take a minute to kind of explain how that process works. This is the same conversation I have with my policyholders. You have somebody that comes out from the Mine Subsidence Insurance Fund, and they document your damage, they take measurements of your house, and then they will come back on a quarterly basis for a year. And if the house continues to move and settle, they won't settle with you as a homeowner until the movement stops. So if the first year they measure it on a quarterly basis, the next year, if it's still moving, then they go to measuring your house on a yearly basis. And in the 6 years that I handled claims, I probably handled about 100 mine subsidence claims, and I only ever saw one get paid.
One?
One. So that's okay. One get paid. So you're probably looking at about a 1% payment ratio, and that's controlled by the Illinois Mine Subsidence Insurance Fund, which really came into existence because there was enough political pressure, because insurance companies were having to pay out because of damages. And so if these fracking operations cause earth movements or earthquakes, that will have to be addressed if it doesn't get addressed at this level. So I just kind of wanted to explain, what happens if it's deemed an earthquake. I was talking to some members of the panel here, and if it really is deemed an earthquake, then you would file a normal earthquake claim under your homeowner's insurance, but you have to have the earthquake coverage endorsed on your policy to begin with. And then the challenge will be the insurance company, if it's an earthquake event, whether it's man-made or not, they would probably move to cover the damages, and if they could, they would try to subrogate the drilling operation. That's where it would come in, whether it's big insurance company versus big drilling company, and we would see what would happen. But I handled a claim years and years ago when they shut down a mine, and I ended up with, we had 1, 2, 3 policy holders that turned in a claim, and they could all pinpoint a certain date that the ground heaved open and methane gas came out of the ground, and they all could list the same date. And then when we had 3, the mine kept turning us down. They had already shut the mine down, and concrete had shut the opening of the mine, and their attitude was, I guess you'll have to blast open the mine and find out what happened for yourself. And as more and more policyholders came forward and could list the same date, had damages to their house, finally when we got about 24 policyholders that all came forward, finally their insurance company stepped up and said, we really are responsible for this. But sometimes it's just a law of large numbers in order to get, I guess, justice. So, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
No, we were just going to invite conversation right now. There's a lot of members here. I just want you to know that it started off with 1 person, and then she met with 2 people, and then there were 6 of us. Our last meeting there were 35, and now look, we've got a lot of people involved. So we're going to start a conversation, and there's some people here that have been working on some things, and if you have some follow-up, there's a lot of questions all of us have about how do we stop this and what can we do. But there's some people here that have been working on things. Is Rich Whitney here by any chance? Do you want to come up and talk about if you found anything about that case and the judgment to allow fracking to go with landowners that we cannot find, etc.? That would be helpful. Everybody, there's some people that have been working on some things.
Actually, that part is going to be short. I haven't yet. We're still trying to find out. It was reported in the Southern that there was a court order in Saline County that was issued that basically awarded mineral rights to the company from absentee owners. And we're trying to find out what was the basis for that, what properties were involved, and so on and so forth. So we're still investigating that. If anyone does have more first-hand information on that, by all means, see me. The other thing I was working on, and that's pertinent as far as what we can be doing, is it's an election year. It's 2012. There are people running for office, and this is a time where an organization like this can hold candidates and elected representatives' feet to the fire, presumably, in order to get them to commit. And so one of the things I'm working on is a questionnaire that's going to be asking candidates, where do you stand? Do you support a moratorium? Do you support a ban on fracking? If not, why not? That kind of thing. The problem is, or one problem is, when you're talking about trying to get something done at the state level, unfortunately, in the 117th House District, the 115th House District, which is the one that covers this area, the 58th State Senate District, the 118th State Rep District, guess what? They're all uncontested races. So even if we're trying to put pressure on these people, they're going to win the election anyway, unless there is still a possibility for someone to run as an independent, to run as a green, to otherwise challenge them. If anyone is interested in doing that, please see me after the meeting, and I'll be glad to talk to you about that possibility. Also, don't forget, though, all politics is local. We have county races this election cycle. The questionnaire can go to county boards and to candidates for county office. And I think it should, and that's something else I'm going to be working on. But even there again, there are many county races that are uncontested. In some cases, there are open seats where nobody's running. So if you find where those are and you take the effort to run, you can get elected. So if anyone is interested in helping me with the questionnaire, but also in the possibility of even running as an anti-fracking candidate, pro-sustainable economics candidate, that sort of thing, please see me after the meeting. Be happy to talk to you about that part of it. Thank you.
There are different individuals in this room that have approached different areas, and one of the things that we were concerned about, of course, is our farmers, our farmland, and our local food. We were privy to an announcement about Wayne County